I miss Steel.
Let's go back. Back to the beginning.
Nostalgia trip.
Hi, Phil.
Hi, Anna.
So, how do you know me?
I am your husband,
You are my husband.
and you're my wife.
Yep, and I'm your wife. And welcome to the show. You've been mentioned on the show already.
Wow,
Yes. So, I think fans of the show, all 6 of them, know who you are.
that's true. I do know them too.
And yeah, you probably know them as well, but welcome.
Thank you.
Today, we are going to talk about what?
The Kids' Choice Awards, the award show on Nickelodeon, the television station.
Yes, thank you. Yes, the kids station that we all grew up watching, the annual award show that they would have. So, let me give you a little bit of background about the Kids' Choice Awards.
Give it to me.
Giving it to you. Kids' Choice Awards began in 1987, was originally called The Big Ballot, and wasn't initially an award show, but rather a series of awards presented across 4 episodes of a Nick show called Rated K for Kids by Kids. Isn't Rated K for Kids by Kids the worst title you've ever heard?
Yeah, that's terrible. I mean, come on.
It's like when you say like the sequel, the third, the segment, the like, why is it for kids by kids?
Yeah, like Dawn of the Beginning of the Planet of the Apes.
Or High School Musical, the show. So these were the first awards voted by kids on paper ballots, and then they were sent through the mail. And the awards were not in the iconic blimp shape that we all know from the Kids' Choice Awards.
What?
So, first trivia question of the day. Beyond being a blimp shape, do you know the other famous feature of the Kids' Choice Awards? Like the physical award.
What do you mean?
When I tell you, you'll understand what I mean. I just wanted to know if you knew.
Like they're orange?
No, they're kaleidoscopes.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. I knew that,
you can look into the end of them and they're a kaleidoscope. And
Yeah,
that
because everyone does that when they get the award.
that has been true since the very first award back in 1987, and they didn't get their blimp shape until 1990.
Wait, so did they just look like normal kaleidoscopes before?
I did not see pictures of them previously. I just know that they were kaleidoscopes. So, after this first year in 1987, the Nick execs liked the idea of the show, but they asked the creator of the awards to refresh it a little bit to be a little bit more like the really popular MTV Music Awards. Have you seen the MTV Music Awards before?
No. I mean, I've probably seen snippets, but I don't
You've probably seen
watching
clips.
it.
There's the famous clip of like Britney Spears kissing Madonna on stage. She has the snake. There's like some iconic TV moments.
I blocked that out, sorry.
That have come from the MTV Music Awards. So it makes sense that Nick would want the show to be like this. So it aired live for the first time in November of 1992. After taking 1993 off to regroup and reshuffle the show a little bit, the awards have shifted to air in March, April, or May of every year since.
Yep. That timing is important.
The timing's important. We will get to the timing when we talk about the nostalgia for you a little bit later. So, and then, of course, the iconic sliming stunts that are a huge part of the show were first incorporated into the show in 2002. So we'll get back to the sliming a little bit later. Let's talk about voting. So voting, like I said, was done via mail first. And Nick partnered with Pizza Hut, where kids could pick up and drop off their ballots. Isn't that the biggest 2000s mood you've ever heard?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Pizza Hut. Out pizza in the hut. So then they rolled out a 900 number where kids could call and vote. I think I remember doing this. Did you ever vote?
No, I mean, I did vote, but not via phone. It was all on the internet.
Right, and we'll get to that in a moment. Yes, so this was similar if back in the early 2000s, they did this 900 number thing a lot, and I remember also doing this for American Idol. Like the original season of American Idol, you could call and you would type in like vote 1 for Kelly Clarkson or 2 for...
Oh, yeah, I remember that stuff.
Yeah, you could do all that. So
They did
I think
at the X Games, too.
Sure, of course you voted for the X Games. That checks out. In 2007, they added text and online voting. So that was probably around the time that you were participating in voting.
2007 was probably the one I remember most.
Right.
So.
And in 2010, you could vote via an app. Of course, they rolled out an app in 2010.
I think I was past that.
Yeah,
at that point.
I don't think I was... I mean, I would have been like 15 then. I wasn't watching the Kids' Choice Awards.
It was a very specific period in my life. And I also probably didn't have... Or maybe I had a device that had an app at that point, but... It seems a little early.
Yeah, we weren't downloading apps when we were teenagers to vote for the Kids' Choice Awards. And they've given out awards in over 60 categories over the years. 60 different categories, individual categories.
Yeah, that's a lot. We gotta thin that down.
Yeah, it's too much. Like, people say that the Oscars have too many categories. No, the Kids' Choice Awards have too many categories. But looking at the overall, like, chart of the awards they give out every year, they consistently only do about 15 categories, like the same ones every year.
Right.
And then they plug and
Core.
play different ones depending on what they're trying to
And I feel like
talk
they're
about.
relevant to like the era. Like
Totally.
they didn't have like a TikTok award back in the 2007.
Yes, and now the D'Amelios are winning those awards every. Do you know who Charlie D'Amelio is?
I know of the name. I couldn't like tell you who she is.
Yeah,
I mean, she's a TikToker apparently. So there you go.
And so is her sister.
That's all you need to know.
Yes. So let's talk about slime, because the slime is a huge and very memorable part of the show for me. I'm sure it is for you. It was always really funny to watch like your favorite celeb get slimed, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you know what the slime is made of?
I have no idea.
Give me a guess.
Like cornstarch?
I honestly would have said the same thing. That's a good guess. That's what I thought it was too, and then I looked it up. It is much more delicious than that. Vanilla pudding, applesauce, green food coloring, and a little bit of oatmeal.
That's sticky though.
Yeah.
Is cornstarch sticky?
No, I don't think cornstarch is sticky. That's like the
Like I'd rather not be sticky.
what's the, I can't think of the flubbery type stuff you can make with cornstarch. I forget what the name of it is. There's like a name that people
Like
call
a
it.
non-Newtonian fluid? Is that what you're talking about?
That was a much more scientific way to
I
say
don't
it,
know.
but yes.
I don't know.
Anyway, delicious but sticky. I agree. I looked up a list of celebrities who've been slimed. I just wanted to give you some of my favorites. Robert Downey Jr. And when
Nice.
he was slimed, he made a joke about how his super expensive designer suit was ruined, which I thought was very funny.
I
and
mean,
on
what
brand.
are you doing wearing a designer suit to the Kids' Choice Awards? That's on you.
I know. Very Iron Man of him, isn't it? Katy Perry got slimed in the face with the force of a fire hydrant. It's a very intense clip. I highly recommend you look it up after we record this. It was hilarious. Tom Cruise was slimed in 2001, which he's a very serious man to me,
Right.
so I was surprised that he volunteered to do that.
He goes on like the COVID rant, but for slime.
You take this seriously? We are getting slimed here for the children. That's probably something he would say to somebody. Jim Carrey,
Ooh, that's a good one.
of course, has been slimed several times, along with Jack Black and Will Smith. They were the ones who've been
course.
slimed the most times in
Ooh,
history.
watch
of
out
the
for
show.
Will Smith. Don't slime his wife.
Oh man. And then we both knew this one because I saw this in my research and I told you it because I loved it so much. Harrison Ford. And we agreed that he was probably really mad about it, but in watching the clip, he was very lovely about it.
Yeah,
so.
his publicist probably got a earful after that.
And then, of course, especially back in the early 2000s, aligning with the X Games days, a lot of slime stunts were done.
Oh yeah, I like jumping into like a pool of slime from like really high, stuff like that.
Correct. I think one of the clips that we watched, Tony Hawk skateboarded into a vat of slime, which was classic. We love Tony Hawk. Did you want to be slimed as a kid?
No chance. No, I was super against like any messiness type of a thing. There's another part to the story we'll get into later, but it involved actually like getting like a food fight basically.
Okay.
And I never wanted to take part in that. So
Okay.
I never wanted to be slimed.
I also never wanted to be slimed. I mean, I'm kind of the same as you. I don't want to be dirty. I don't want to be sticky. I don't want to be in my hair. No, I don't want any of that. I was never into the
Especially now that I know that it's sticky. No.
No, it's a no. It's a no for me,
Wet
dog.
and sticky is very icky. Sticky and wet
Makes mommy upset. Yes. Okay.
That's an iCarly quote.
It is an iCarly quote, which is very relevant to the Kids' Choice Awards. There's a lot of iCarly, a lot of Miranda Cosgrove. She recently hosted the Kids' Choice Awards.
Drake and Josh.
She hosted with Gronk. Co-hosted with Gronk.
I heard about that.
Yeah. She did a good job. I like Miranda Cosgrove. She seems like a nice person. Okay. So, new segment alert. Woo woo. This segment is called What the Bleep. So, in What the Bleep, you will be played a clip related to today's topic, and we'll have to try to guess the word or words that have been bleeped out. In this case, it's people's names.
Okay.
So, for the Kids' Choice Awards, they usually bring out a big star. So, let's try to figure out who the big stars are. Okay?
I'm ready.
All right. Clip number 1.
Please, Miss, will you do the honors?
Well, it would be my pleasure, Mr.
There's 2 people in this clip.
Ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Who's gonna get slimed?
Wait, do I have to guess both of the people?
Both of the people.
Well, I guess our celebrity sliming is you.
That scream say anything to you? It's pretty iconic.
It's not the voice of Squidward, is it?
It is not the voice of Squidward. It's a much more iconic, famous person than that.
Oh.
Both of these people were in an animated movie together in the early 2000s. They're both super famous.
Mike Myers.
Uh-huh.
Carmen Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. Yes.
What did I say? Carmen? Cameron.
Same thing.
Shit.
Close enough. Okay, clip 2.
Is there a star in the audience who's ready to make slime history?
Do you know who's speaking? This isn't really
Jack Black.
Yes, that's Jack Black. There's someone else.
The kids are hyped.
Almost touched me in the nose. Are you sure you want to go through with this, buddy?
I'm ready, man.
Are
It's
you?
the whole reason I became an actor. So that I could stand here at the Kids' Choice Awards and take part in the greatest celebrity sliming in the history of sliming. Let's do it!
What year of Kids' Choice Awards
I
is that
believe
from?
this was 2006. You also know who this person is. He's from a movie that's very important to you.
Jude Law.
No, a movie that's very important to you that you loved as a child.
A series of...
No.
Is that Jude Law again?
It's not. It's Jude Law again.
Oh, no.
Would you like to listen again?
Yeah, give me it again.
I also would like to know
Is there a star
how many times he
in
says
the
this person's
audience
name. It's very funny.
who's ready to make slime history? Does anybody have the guts? On you, Jack!
Orlando Bloom.
It is Orlando Bloom. I was hoping that because he says,
Turner.
I do, Jack. It's just like
Yeah.
pirates, right? Okay, nice. And then clip number 3. There's 2 people speaking in this clip.
After you guys both?
Yes, he says that person's name for that long.
Hey, everybody, I want you to know that earlier won for favorite voice in an animated movie for the Smurfs.
I don't know the Smurfs.
Listen,
Oh, thank you so very much. Listen, the only reason why I'm still here today, and remember this, is because I've never grown up.
So I gotta name both
correct.
people?
Give me both people.
I'm gonna need it again.
Both of these names have already been mentioned in the show so far.
Oh. Tony Hawk.
And the woman is married to the person from the previous clip.
Oh, Keira Knightley.
No,
Hey,
they're not
everybody,
married.
I want you to know that earlier won for favorite
Who's
voice
this?
in an animated movie
voice is
for the
this?
Smurfs.
Will Smith?
Yes.
Oh, thank you so very much. Listen, the only reason why I'm still here today, and remember this, is because I've never grown up.
Is that like the voice of like Tinkerbell or something?
It is
Never
a
grown up?
pop star who had just completed performing her song Part of Me on stage.
Oh, I don't know that song.
She's married to Orlando Bloom. She
Um,
was very popular around 2008
Kelly Clarkson.
to like 2012. Probably like the biggest pop star in the world when we were in middle school.
Beyonce.
Nope.
Rihanna.
Do you think that sounds like Rihanna or Beyonce?
I don't know. I haven't really heard him talk.
She sings California Girls.
Oh, Katy Perry.
That is Katy Perry.
Okay, I hear it now.
I purposely made that one the most challenging. I figured that would be the hardest. So thank you for playing the first installment of What the Bleep.
I forgot that Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry were married.
Yes. I think they're married. They definitely have a kid together. I think they're married though. Okay.
Thank you. I'm honored to be the first
Yes.
contestant.
It was kind of your idea, so you get to deal with it. The repercussions
Yeah,
of your
I
actions.
stole it from another podcast.
Well, it's a good idea, so here we are. Okay, so let's make it a little bit easier on you, and let's talk about nostalgia. So can you talk about why you picked the Kids' Choice Awards as your nostalgic topic?
Yeah, so the Kids' Choice Awards, I feel like, I'm not an expert in the Kids' Choice Awards, and I certainly didn't watch it for the longest time, but it happened in a very specific time period in my life, probably from like 2007 to like 2010 or 11-ish maybe. So that would have been like 10 to 13 years old. And so at the time, I had a lot of cousins and my little sister Lucy. So there were 5 of us, and we were all pretty close in age. We were each a year apart from each other. So like we were all like in a 5-year range basically.
Right. And you're all basically siblings despite being cousins.
Yeah, so we're all kind of like second generations, not all of us, but most of us are kind of second generation kids in the family, if that makes sense. We all have much older siblings. So we were all basically siblings. Like we all grew up in the same town. We all lived within walking distance of each other. So we were all hanging out with each other, and our families always did stuff together. So we'd all go on vacation for spring break together every year, which sounds like a lot, and it kind of was, but it was a lot of fun. So we would all go down to this resort in Florida, and every year it was pretty much, I think, March and April every year for maybe a week or two, and it always seemed that the Kids' Choice Awards fell during that 2-week span. So we were always together for the Kids' Choice Awards, and we all got together and watched it in the condo in Florida, and it was just a really great time. And so the big thing that we tried to do, there was this candy shop on the island, and we had like our parents' charge cards.
Right, because it's a resort, so everything just kind of charges to the room type of thing.
Yeah, you charge
so
it to the room, and you don't really need to have like an ID or any type of verification that you're okay and like allowed to spend that money.
Right.
So we would just spend it willingly, like strawberry daiquiri at 10:45 in the morning.
A virgin strawberry daiquiri.
Yeah,
you
put that on my parents' tab.
You were not underage drinking.
Yes, a virgin.
To clarify,
and I
for
still
the
don't
listeners.
drink, so I still order virgins,
Yes.
and I'm 25 years old.
But just to clarify for the listener, this resort was not doling out alcohol at 10:45 in the morning to children.
Right, we're not trying to incriminate anybody here.
No.
But yeah, so we would go to this candy store, and the goal was for every commercial break, we would try to run to the candy store, buy candy, and run back before the commercial break ended. And that was like, honestly, that was the more nostalgic part rather than just watching the Kids' Choice Awards. Like, I don't even remember that well the Kids' Choice Awards, and like I couldn't name you a single winner of any of the awards.
Right.
But it was just us getting together and hanging out and then trying to accomplish that one goal of getting candy before the commercial ended. So
That's classic.
yeah, it was in it, you know, it was always a really special time, a really special place. You know, Captiva Island will always hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
And
special to us too. It was the first vacation we went on together.
Yep.
And it's where we got engaged.
Yep.
So lots of good memories at Captiva with me, and I didn't even go there as a kid. So
yeah,
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's pretty magical. But yeah, that's why it's nostalgic to me. And it was in a really impactful period in my life, I guess. Maybe impactful is the wrong word, but you know, when you're in that preteen phase,
right,
you're very impressionable,
right,
and the memories in that era really stick with you.
And the memories of the Kids' Choice Awards have stuck with you.
Oh yeah,
after all this time.
And the other fact is that we were just really big Nickelodeon fans outside of the Kids' Choice Awards. Like SpongeBob, definitely my favorite kids show.
Yes,
I'd say we were more of a Nickelodeon group than a Disney group.
That was
we
my
did
question.
Watch Disney stuff too.
That was my question. You were a Nick guy.
Definitely Nick. I mean, SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Drake and Josh. iCarly was a huge one. So
you weren't like a Cartoon Network guy at all, right? You watched like no Cartoon Network?
Not really Cartoon Network, no.
Because I was like pretty heavy in Cartoon Network.
I mean, we did like Tom and Jerry and like Scooby-Doo and stuff on Cartoon Network, but
I liked that because that was the Boomerang segment, and those were all the classic cartoons. But then I also liked Dexter and all those shows, like Powerpuff Girls. All those shows were my jam. But anyway, I digress. That's a separate episode.
I was not interested in those shows.
No, I also loved Nick. Obviously loved SpongeBob tribute episode to come soon for the listeners. But I thought something that was funny when we were like watching back some clips of the Kids' Choice Awards was like how much the kids were losing their minds.
Oh yeah.
Like the screaming.
Yep.
The screaming. Like, and there was a clip that I watched today that Lindsay Lohan like commented on the screaming on stage. She was like, "Oh my gosh, these kids are so excited. Like, can you believe it?" She said it to like her co-presenter, and I thought it was really funny. Like it's I've never seen any like live television event with this much screaming.
That was the other thing that I always wondered about as a kid, like how did they get all those kids in there without their parents? But then when we were rewatching, there were parents in the room, but like there's a snake pit at the Kids' Choice Awards with a bunch of kids in there, no parents in sight, like just a moshing. Snake pit. No. Those kids in there, I mean,
I know. No, it's crazy. And what is also funny is there's celebrities who bring their kids to this. We watched one like red carpet clip where Kenny G brought his family. Do you remember watching this?
Yeah.
Kenny G brought his kids. He had 4 kids with him. And the interviewer asked who his kids were excited to meet. And his son said Shaun White and Jack Black. And his daughter said Drake Bell. And I think that's the most classic 2006 answer anybody could give.
Yeah, you can't place yourself in a period of time better than that.
No, it's so 2006 because that's literally what my answer would have been in 2006. And like, there's a clip of like Jodie Foster in the audience, and I think her kid's sitting next to her. It's just very funny. It's like super famous people bringing their kids to this because they live in LA and like their kids want to meet other famous people type of thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I was a famous like celebrity, I would definitely bring my kid to that.
Oh yeah, everybody did. All the red carpet clips are really funny, and of all these celebrities.
Where was it even held? Or it was probably held in different places, but it was in LA?
Yeah, it's in LA. It's in various locations. It seems like recently they've been holding it in like a literal like hangar, like an airplane hangar.
That's what I thought it might have been.
Yeah.
Like
it's in
big stage or something that they just outfitted. Because it's not like the biggest of venues.
No, it's not huge, but I think it's something like, it's just kind of like an empty building that they outfitted for lots of screaming children.
Don't they film a lot of Nick stuff in like Florida?
Yeah, in Orlando, right? Isn't that
like
where
that. I don't know.
The old Nick Studios was? But I believe that they filmed this in, I didn't write that down. I probably should have. But I believe that they filmed this in California. The sheer volume of super famous people involved at the Kids' Choice Awards is pretty crazy to me. You know, like there were episodes where it was like Michelle Obama was there and Taylor Swift is in the audience. Like, these are like the most popular people in America, and they're at this like kids show, which I think is really funny.
Yeah, do it for the kids.
Do it for the kids. And you can definitely tell that everyone there has that mentality, which I respected in rewatching it. Something cool that I think the Kids' Choice Awards did in rewatching it was there's a lot of like adult fare and adult entertainment that they kind of still nominate for awards. Like, it's not just kids shows, it's not just Nick shows. Gold Member won Best Movie in 2003.
Yeah, like the kids are voting for Gold Member.
Yeah,
I would have voted for Gold Member, but
the kids are voting for Gold Member. The Simpsons won Favorite Cartoon in 2002. Rappers like Drake and Cardi B and Kendrick Lamar have been nominated for awards. Like,
yeah, that's not surprising.
It's very adult entertainment though. Like, it's not, a 5-year-old probably shouldn't be listening to Kendrick Lamar, even if Kendrick Lamar is very good. So it's cool that the Kids' Choice Awards are still more open to broader amounts of entertainment, so it's not just little kid stuff.
That's true. It also like kind of, I mean, not really, but it legitimizes the award show a little bit, I feel.
Totally.
Like.
And that's probably akin to the trying to be like the MTV Awards type of thing. But in my research, I learned that there's an actual term for this, and it's a specific terminology called "What do you mean it's not for kids?" That's like a specific brand of entertainment that is targeted towards adults, but is also very popular with children. So that would be like Family Guy. Lord of the Flies is like a book example. It's like adult entertainment that for some reason youth tends to connect with also.
Interesting.
So yeah, I learned about that. I thought that was interesting, and it makes sense. It's media that covers, you know, mature topics, but still appeals to kids. On that topic, kind of another nostalgia question for you, maybe skewing a little bit away from Kids' Choice Awards, but I mentioned Goldmember. I know that you liked Austin Powers a lot as a kid.
Yep.
And several other maybe adult-leaning movies.
Yep.
And I think a lot of that could be attributed to the fact that your parents had a lot of children to parent, so they probably just kind of let you watch what you want a little bit more.
Yeah, that's
Hi,
true.
Becky and Carl, because I know that Carl listens to the show.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Can you name some things that would fall into that "what do you mean it's not for kids" bucket that you liked maybe as a kid?
I mean, there's a lot of them. When we were kids, we lived right down the street from a movie rental store, like a DVD, VHS.
Movie market.
I think it was mainly DVDs at that time. It was within walking distance, like just a block. So we would walk down there without our parents, and they had signed this piece of paper that allowed us to rent rated R movies without their consent, even when we were like, maybe probably 13.
Yeah, you weren't like little
around that
but
age.
Yeah.
So yeah, we watched all sorts of stuff we were not supposed to watch when we were kids. A lot of rated R movies.
You turned out okay.
Austin Powers is definitely up there.
Yeah.
A lot of comedy movies.
Yeah.
Mostly comedies. I mean,
Yeah.
we weren't watching like crazy violent stuff.
No, I mean, I was the one who showed you Pulp Fiction for the first time. You weren't watching stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It was mainly humor.
Right. Which is fine. You turned out great. You have a great sense of humor, so
Thank you.
worth it. I just thought that was a kind of a fun connection, and I do want to talk about Movie Market more in the future.
Yes, Movie Market was like my sanctuary.
Yeah, Movie Market will get its own episode because it deserves it.
We've also spent a lot of money at Movie Market.
Indeed. We've helped finance it up until it closed. Okay, so going back to the Kids' Choice Awards, I thought it was interesting how, this is a show that it's not like I rewatched the Kids' Choice Awards, right? Like you see the 2007 Kids' Choice Awards one time in 2007.
Right, you don't rewatch the Oscars.
Right, I've never rewatched the Oscars, and I'm a huge Oscars fan, so that's saying something. But what's interesting to me is it still felt very familiar, right? Would you agree? Like the commercials were in my brain, and the layout of the show, and there was one, I think it was 2006, where Jack Black hosted, in that intro that we watched of Jack Black hosting the show. It was him like preparing to be the master of slime or something like that. Right. And I remember
Nacho Libre year, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Nacho Libre. Isn't that interesting though? Like, did it feel that familiar to you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, not that I've watched a lot of commercials because we were running to a candy store and back, but the commercials are definitely something that like unlocks that core memory, the second level in your brain where you're like, oh, I know what that is.
Yeah.
But also, like, I mean, the format and the hosting and the awards, they don't change that much from year to year. So all of the year, they kind of blend together for me. Like, I couldn't tell you the hosts of each year, and I know there's like the same person is hosted multiple times, so it's hard to differentiate, but it definitely felt familiar.
Right. That's a great segue into our trivia segment.
Oh boy.
Welcome to trivia.
Thank
you. I love trivia. I have to work in some trivia into my show. We're bringing in all of the new segments in this episode. You're my guinea pig. So, off of what you were just saying, can you name who has hosted the Kids' Choice Awards the most times?
I mean, I know Jack Black has hosted multiple times.
Yep, he's number 2.
But I'm pretty sure JT has hosted multiple times too.
Yep, he's number 3. Number 1 is tough.
Is it?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll give you a hint.
It's a lady or
it is a lady.
Ooh.
And she hosted more in like the early 2000s and the 90s type of thing.
Ooh, that's tough because I was really young.
Mildly before our time.
Did she have a show on Nick?
I don't know. Nick at Night, technically. I think her show would have rerun on Nick at Night.
It wasn't someone from like Full House, was it?
No. Similar vein of television, though. You might be most familiar with her from Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, no. I mean, I've seen the movie a lot, but I couldn't name any actors.
It's Meg Ryan's friend, Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, yeah, I know the name.
Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell hosted 8 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you, Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, Jack Black has only hosted 3 times, interestingly.
He deserves more.
He does. Let's bring back Jack Black. What show has won the most Kid Choice Awards?
What show has won the most?
What show?
Ooh, I mean, it's got to be a kids show. SpongeBob?
Yeah. 19 Kids' Choice Awards.
Yeah, get out of here.
As it should.
Get out of here.
What individual celebrities have won the most Kids' Choice Awards?
So this is like, it could be actors, musicians, it could be any of that?
These people are all of the above. Both of them are considered all of the above.
Oh.
They are major stars.
Jack Black.
No. I would argue this person is more famous than Jack Black and has also been mentioned several times today. Fairly young. Was a star of a Disney show.
Miley Cyrus.
No. Selena
Gomez.
Yep. Selena Gomez with 11 awards. 11 Kids' Choice Awards for Selena. Who is the man? We mentioned him like literally several times in this episode.
Mike Myers.
No.
Jim Carrey.
No.
He's a musician too?
You're really keeping his name out your damn mouth.
Oh, Will Smith.
Will Smith has 11 awards as well.
Interesting.
Other top award winners include Adam Sandler, Justin Bieber, and Ariana Grande.
I was going to say Biebs, but
the Biebs makes sense for sure. Interestingly, the only EGOT winner to also win a Kids' Choice Award is Whoopi Goldberg. She has an EGOT and a KCA. Happy for Whoopi. That is all my trivia, so I'll relieve you of your pain now.
I didn't do very well.
Good job.
You.
No, thank you. You nailed SpongeBob, so I'll
That's
give you
true.
that.
Yeah, you gave me the softball right off the bat.
You did really good. Any final thoughts about the Kids' Choice Awards? Any other nostalgic moments for you? Anything that popped out to you when you were kind of rewatching some Kids' Choice Awards?
Yeah, I will say there's a lot of really cringy moments at the Kids' Choice Awards that I didn't realize as a kid. And it's like kind of unhinged. It's like nobody knows what's going on. I feel like the hosts never really are on board, or they're never in the loop of what's going on. So I mean that's part of the fun, but it's also a little unorganized, which is funny to watch as an adult.
I watched like literally right before we started recording, I watched a clip where Lindsay Lohan and David Spade were presenting an award, and suddenly Hugh Jackman runs across the stage. This is early 2000s, like very young Hugh Jackman runs across the entire length of the stage. And he's like, whoa, 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 stop. And they're like, what? And he was like, we have to go to this podium. And they have to run. Lindsay Lohan's wearing like tiny little heels and a little skirt. And she's running across the stage. And they moved them to a different podium because there was like they were confused as to where they're supposed to be.
Yep.
So that's
a lot of
that's
that.
just one moment. And there's several moments like that in all of the years that I watched for this.
I mean, but think of it though. Like if you're a celebrity then, like, introducing an award or whatever, you're probably just gonna phone it in or like mess around.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
'cause that's, you can, you know, and
Right.
there's no consequences and you can have fun up there.
Right, it's a very casual show. Obviously, I mean, they're covering people in slime. People are wearing very casual clothing. Like, it's not the Oscars, right? Like, you're not going to prep to read an award at the Kids' Choice Awards.
Right.
Yes, the chaos is definitely a memorable part of it.
Like, I don't even like, I didn't like the Kids' Choice Award. Like, love it. Like, I didn't, you know, have to watch it. It was more of almost like a vehicle for us, like an excuse for us to hang out and buy a bunch of candy.
Right.
But
right.
I mean, even when we weren't in Florida, there were a few years where, or maybe not a few, but a couple or 1 year where we weren't in Florida, we would get together in Michigan and still watch it all together. Then it became that thing we needed to watch every year.
Right.
So.
Maybe-
I also don't remember like how we even heard about it for the first time. I'm sure there were commercials for it on Nick and stuff.
Oh, I'm
but
sure they advertised so heavy for this.
Yeah, there's I don't remember the first time we watched it. I don't remember the last time I watched it. It's just kind of like
I might be making this up,
existing.
but I feel like Nick did a partnership with Burger King at some point, and you could get...
Oh yeah, there's a lot of Burger King commercials in the
but they
reruns
did
I
a
was
thing
watching.
where you could get a little Kids' Choice Award in your...
No way.
What is it? It's not a Happy Meal, that's McDonald's. What did they called it?
Oh, I don't
King.
know. I never really got Burger King.
The kids' meals at Burger King.
The Burger King in our town was really slow. So
It
we
was
never
really
went there.
slow. My dad was so lovely. He would go there and he would just ask to buy the toys for me. Like, he
That's
wouldn't
awesome.
purchase food, and he would only purchase the toy.
Yeah,
and they would give it to him.
I
It was
wish I
awesome.
could have done that as a kid at McDonald's for sure.
Yeah, lots of good toys. That's a separate episode as well. But anyway, I was going to say to your point too, something that a lot of people keep bringing up is like, it's not even like the thing that's what's so nostalgic for them. It's like the environment that the thing
Right.
creates.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So I think that's a nice little ending note. Just the feelings that you get from something from your childhood, not even so much the thing itself.
Yep, exactly.
Well, Phil, this was a pleasure.
Yes, it was.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Wow.
I'm sure you'll be back, considering
Yeah.
that you are married to me.
Probably, yeah.
You're
I see
stuck
every
with
day,
me.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
every day, basically.
Sorry.
And I can force you to be on here anytime I want.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me on this nostalgia trip. If you liked what you heard, follow the podcast to keep tripping through time with us. And if you're feeling extra supportive, leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at NostalgiaTripPod for bonus content, episode release schedules, and more. Want to hear a certain topic or have a recommendation for the pod? Email us at nostalgiatrippod@gmail.com. Until next time,